Hello, welcome to another episode of Black Guy 73. I am Black Guy 73. Man, out of all cities in the United States, they have Tuskegee, Alabama on the local website, on the local news website, having other black people trying to convince black people in Tuskegee, Alabama to take the COVID-19 vaccine. Tuskegee, Alabama is the same city they use black men as experiment on syphilis. And some of them black people whose family went through this shit is still alive. And you got the mayor and former mayors on this broadcast telling people, well, I took the vaccine and I feel fine. These black people don't give a damn that y'all took their vaccine when they know what kind of experiment was did on their uncles and daddies and then cousins. They don't want to hear that shit. Tuskegee ain't that, but an hour drive from the place I stay. And we all know about, well, people my age. I don't know about the younger people. I hope they know. But we all know about the darn Tuskegee experiment. If you see the picture in the thumbnail, that white guy, you take a look at the thumbnail, that white guy is going out to farmers and going out to people home to give them the vaccine shot. Not the vaccine shot, we talking about the COVID-19 vaccine shot. In that thumbnail, that white man giving them the syphilis. That's what he getting them. He getting them the syphilis virus. The experiment. Let me see. I don't know if y'all can see this. Oh yeah, here you go. You see that white man right there? That's who getting them black people right there. The syphilis. When that shit took place. So you got a panel going on, and they wondering why black people, as a whole, not all black people, not including myself, but they wondering why a lot of black people is not trusting getting the COVID-19 shot. And they down in Tuskegee, Alabama, trying to convince these same people who family member who went through this shit to get the COVID-19 vaccine shot. Come on, people. This shit didn't happen 100 years ago. It happened in their lifetime. Some of them people who still alive now, some of the older people, they were children when they seen their family members suffering. It happened in the I want to be more exact, but I think it happened like in the 50s or the 60s. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. So again, the Tuskegee experiment. This lady named Eunice Vidal Rivers. She was a nurse. And she said, and they said she worked in the state of Alabama, and she is best known for her work as coordinating of the Tuskegee syphilis experiment from 1932 to 1972. From 1932 to 1972. People, 1972 was a year before I was born. 49 years ago, they were getting black people syphilis in Tuskegee. People. And they want them to, I know to some of y'all like 49 years ago, that was the whole damn time. No, it wasn't. If you 13 or 20 or like 49 years ago was a long time. But when you turn 30, 49 years ago, isn't that done long? Because a 30-year-old, it was 19 years for being born. 20-year-old was 29 years for being born. Now 20-year-old, that was they darn mother who or their grandmother who were around when they were getting these black people syphilis in Tuskegee, Alabama. And they want to convince these people, hey, don't worry about the COVID-19. I know we did this shit in less than a year. I know we did. But trust me. Trust me. Trust me the same way. You know how we brought that white man to y'all door and said, hey, you could trust him. He done it for your good. He done it for your own good. Trust him. You know that. Could we be honest for a minute? I just want to be honest for 1 minute. You know the best way to convince black people, especially black men, to take something from a white person they don't know? Get a black woman. I know you're like, no. Yes, get a black woman. The lady named Eunice, who I just talked about, the nurse, who had convinced a lot of these black people to take the shot from that white man. Get a black woman. This is no doing hit on black women. I'll just let you know right here. But get a black person, not just a black woman. Get a black person to convince other black people to take a shot from white people who they said, we trust him or we trust them. Look what happened in Tuskegee. They got black people saying, we trust that person. White man in that picture just smiling, shooting syphilis up in that damn black man arm. That was just one picture of many of pictures they took. And then I'm gonna reach out a little. This is the experiment began in 1932. At a time when there was no known treatment for syphilis, a contagious disease. They said after being recruited by the promise of free medical care, they lied to them, so they're gonna get free medical care. 600 African American men in Macon County, Alabama, was enrolled in the project, which aimed to study the full progress of the disease. Tortured on people. The participant was primarily sharecroppers, poor people. And many had never before visited a doctor, uneducated people. Doctors from the U.S. Public Health Service, the PHS, which was running the study, informed the participant 399 men with syphilis and a control group of 201 other who was free from the disease. They told them they were being treated for bad blood, and term common use in the area at the time to refer as a variety of elements. They said the men were monitored by health workers, but only given things like aspirins and mineral supplements, despite the fact that the penicillin became the recommended treatment for the syphilis in 1947. Some 15 years into the study, the PHS researchers convinced the local physician in Macon County not to treat the participants. Instead, research was done at the Tuskegee institution, now called the Tuskegee University. The same black college, the HBCU college, Tuskegee University. The school was founded in 1881 by Booker T. Washington. That was his first teacher. I'm gonna read that part again. It says the researcher convinced the local physicians in Macon County not to treat the participant. Instead, research was done at the Tuskegee Institution. HBCU college. Done. None of these black men were down suffering. They said in order to track the disease full progress, researchers provided no effort care as the men died. They went blind or insane or experienced other several health problems due to their untreated syphilis. They said the mid-1960s, the PHS disease investigators in San Francisco named Peter Boston found out about the Tuskegee study and expressed his concern to his superior that it was unethical. In response, the PHS official formed a committee to review the study, but immediately opted to continue it, with the goal of tracking the participants until they had died. Autopsies were performed and the project data could be analyzed. The dude named Peter then leaked the story to reporter friend who passed it on to the fellow reporter, Gene Heller, the Associated Press. Heller broke the story in July of 1972, prompting public outrage and forcing the study to finally shut down. People, in 1972, these people still wasn't going to just stop the damn study. They're going to let that junk keep on going until this one doctor leaked the story to the reporters. And they were wondering why the people in Tuskegee don't trust them. They said by the time the 28 participants had perished from syphilis, 100 more had passed away from related complications. At least 40 spouses had been diagnosed with it, and the disease has been passed to 19 children at birth. It didn't just affect the people who were participating in it. It passed along to their family members too. They said in 1973, Congress held hearings on the Tuskegee experiment. In the following year, the study's surviving participants allowed with the heritage of those who died received $10 million out of court settlement. $10 million, people. $10 million was a lot of money then, in 1973. But that $10 million could be going through close to 500 people. $10 million? Break it down, people. Break it down. They're like, what, $20,000 a piece? I might be wrong. But it ain't that much, people. What I'm trying to say, it's not that much. Through 500 people, $10 million, including the lawyers, it's not that much. In addition, a new guideline was issued to protect human subjects in the United States government farm research project. They said as a result of the Tuskegee experiment, many African Americans developed a lingering deep mistrust of public health officials and vaccines, in part for foster racial healing. They said President Bill Clinton issued a 1997 apology stating that the United States government did something that was wrong, deeply profound, morally wrong, and it is not only to remember that the shameful past that can make amend and repair our nation, but it is in remembering that the past that we can build a better present and a better future. It said during his apology, Clinton announced plans for the establishment of Tuskegee University National Center for Research and Healthcare. They said the family study participant passed away in 2004. They said Tuskegee wasn't the first unethical system study. They said in 2010, President Barack Obama and other federal officials apologized for another United States-sponsored experiment conducted decades earlier. But the reason I read that, like I said, that experiment ended 49 years ago in 1972. But the people who were gone through that experiment were still suffering. And their family members and people were born with the jump. $10 million, people. I know in 1973, like I said, $10 million sound like a lot of money. You're like, $10 million? Oh, yes, go ahead and sell it there. 500 people. 500 people shared that $10 million. Like I said earlier, I know my math, I ain't the smartest person in the world, but my math be on point. I hope y'all can see it. Let me see. It's upside down, but 10 million divided by 500 people is $20,000. $20,000, people. And the lawyer hadn't even got their money out yet. So they might don't even get $20,000 a piece. 10 million people. I mean, $10 million, 500. Kind of shit is that, people. 29 to 1972. They didn't say they stopped getting people syphilis in 1929. They said it started in 1929. People. And they wonder why these people, ancestors, and they're not so quick to want to jump in and take the vaccine in Tuskegee. That's why. This is why. They've been lied to before about a freaking vaccine, and they there to take care of their people, but were lied to and saying, "This is, oh man, don't even worry about this, man. Y'all know what this is. We here to help y'all. Y'all poor. Y'all don't have anything. We here to treat y'all for a blood problem." Them black people getting along real good as a sharecropper out there working in the field, just getting along real good. And here come them. Hey, we found some uneducated people for you. Weird. And that, like I said, that HBCU college they always bragging about down in Tuskegee were part of the damn experiment. Freaking Tuskegee University. It's a shame, people. I don't blame no people down there in Tuskegee. I won't trust your ass neither. I won't trust none of y'all. I'm just being honest with you. I won't trust you. If my family member went through that darn syphilis jump, I wouldn't trust you. I wouldn't. You ain't sticking shit in my home. I'd be like them people out west saying, "Hey, nah, my child ain't gonna get no measles shot." No. But I grew up in that darn jump, seeing my family. And like I said, the last person who died from it was in 2004. 17 years ago, people. 17 years ago. The last person died from that experiment. And y'all want them to trust y'all. 17 years ago. Imagine how many burst effect don't happen because of that damn shit. Tuskegee, I don't blame you. I'm just gonna be straight up. I don't blame y'all people down there in Tuskegee, Alabama. Oh, I'm about to go in there and beat some butt. But Tuskegee, Alabama, I don't blame y'all, man. I won't trust them neither. Hey, thank you for watching the video. You haven't subscribed. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Hit the share button. You know, tell a friend, tell a friend. If you see a red truck said, subscribe to Black Guy 73, that me. I'm trying to get y'all to subscribe to my shit. Hey, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Don't trust and Tuskegee. I don't blame you. Don't fall for the black bait.